Assalamu alaikum, welcome to today's Friday and Eid Reflections on this the 31st of July 2020. Uh, on Eid al-Adha we remember Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon them both. And the sacrifice, especially of Abraham's son Ishmael. Now, people may not always think about the sacrifice of Ishmael. They tend to focus on the sacrifice of Abraham. But it was, after all, Ishmael who he was putting on the pyre, or Isaac within the biblical account. But whichever of his two sons it was the son that went on the pyre, it was the son that offered to sacrifice themselves. Even as huge and frightening a sacrifice as that must be, but they went along with it, and they didn't complain according to the account. Now, of course, as we know, within the teachings of our religion, God sent an angel, and the angel told Abraham that this is not what God requires, that God would never seek such a thing. So we know from this also is a very clear message that God does not require human sacrifice, which actually in 2020 may not hold the same resonance it would have done when this story first did the rounds. And of course, for that, we're actually going back to the Bible, because the Quran is only being committed to pen and paper for 1400 years. But this account goes back to the story of Abraham, which is found in Genesis in the Bible. And for that, we're going back at least 5,000 years ago. So when this account of Abraham and going to sacrifice his son, but it was an interrupted sacrifice and didn't happen, we have to realize this is a story that's thousands of years old. And if we go back to that time, human sacrifice was a thing. Human sacrifice was something that did happen. And this is why it's very important to understand the context of anything we read in any book, because it will help us to understand what the story is really teaching us. And this story is teaching us very clearly that God does not require human sacrifice. But at the same time, we should sacrifice something. But what God requires of us is a sacrifice of our hearts. What God requires of us is sacrifice that is for the benefit of other people, for the benefit of our family and community, for the benefit of our societies, for the benefit of our human family, and also for the benefit of the natural world around us, because each of us is a Khalifa of this earth. And without a healthy earth, then none of us will have health, none of us will have prosperity, none of us would have the things that we need. We are all part of the web of life. So this is what God requires of us. And this is what the story of Abraham and his son Ishmael is teaching us. And so traditionally on Eid, Muslims would feed hungry people and would spend time with their families, would spend time with their community also, and anybody in their community who is more in need, and give them the support that they may need. And this is something that Muslims are reminded of every time Eid comes around, whether it's Eid al-Adha on this occasion or Eid al-Fitr at the end of Ramadan. So I hope you all have a beautiful and a blessed Eid. I wish you all well. I will keep it short today, because I am sure everybody is doing lots of fun things and spending time with their families. So I wish you all the very, very best, and I hope you don't have any difficulties. But if you do, then I pray Allah grants you relief and grants you the means to overcome those difficulties. And I ask Allah blesses you and your families and your communities and everyone in our human family. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Lillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Lillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Lillahil hamd. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم. الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. استعين صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and happy Eid.